Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Now, I originally was not planning on making a video on this because this video has been up for 12 hours. I saw it this morning and it already has almost 3 million views. I figured I wouldn't have much to add to it. I mean, with the speed things move on the internet, relatively old at this point. Like, it's already 12 hours old. By the time I get this up, it's going to be probably close to a day old, or I don't know, 13, 14 hours old. Like, it's probably going to take me a couple hours to edit. But then I saw this. This is a new community post from Reckless Ben saying they took down Bryan's GoFundMe. I wish I could talk about it, but I'll go to jail if I do. Now, this really got my blood boiling. I'll be honest, I was pretty upset about this whole situation. Like, it was genuinely like, man, I thought this was like a pretty decent company, all things considered, before this whole situation. I thought it was a pretty decent company, but they did one of their locations did something pretty shady. Corporate was kind of trying to cover it up, and I figured it would all just blow over. Hopefully well, not blow over, but hopefully like he'd get compensated, like Bryan would get all his stuff back or be paid, and this would all kind of go away within a couple months. Like, I think if they had just paid him back day one, none of this would have happened. It would have just been like, man, that's kind of scummy, but like, at least it all worked out in the end. But this is by far the most disgusting thing Bricks and Minifigs has done, in my opinion. The fact that they took down a GoFundMe for this man who did nothing wrong in this situation. If they want to go after Ben, like I said, I'm on Ben's side, but I understand the context of them going after Ben for some of the stuff that he's done has probably crossed a line. But Bryan has done nothing wrong. He literally just wanted his stuff back, went in there, was like, hey, I want this back, and then all this happened. So this video is only 2 minutes long, so we're going to give it a quick watch, but I've already seen it, and I won't probably have a lot to say, but we'll see.
Episode 3 is finally finished after crazy all nighters and basically destroying my health. But I can't post it or I will go to jail. And not only that, I will also immediately lose my lawsuit of $300,000. And the GoFundMe we made for Bryan will go straight to this mystery company that I am no longer allowed to talk about. They sent court papers to my email, which I guess a judge approved for them that this was a valid form of service. And so now that I'm officially served, I cannot even mention this company or I will be in jail and everything. Normally I would be like, screw the big guy telling me what to do. I'm going to do what's morally right. But in this situation, if I do that, then all my friends get screwed with this lawsuit and we lose all the GoFundMe money we raised, like immediately. So I am no longer allowed to even mention this mystery company. My personal opinion is that this is unfair because this order was put on me because this company was telling the court that I was making bomb threats. I was planning on murdering the manager and employees, which obviously I didn't do, and you can see that in the footage. The only problem is I was not given a chance to share my side. The court just heard their perspective, not mine. So because I wasn't able to share my side, I am now no longer allowed to talk about them, and it looks like this might be it. So, yeah.
So I did watch a lawyer's video on this. It's the guy that's done a bunch of videos on this. I'm blanking on his name right now, but he has done probably like 5 videos on this, and he pretty much said that this really doesn't mean all that much. Like, he obviously can't talk about it, but it's not like a big loss from a legal perspective. From like a content perspective, I'm sure it's a big loss. But from a legal perspective, this isn't necessarily a bad thing because, I mean, it's just an unfortunate thing for him because he can't speak out about it publicly. But going with this here, I genuinely cannot believe this. I thought that the bare minimum Bricks and Minifigs could do with this whole situation, if they continued going down this path they were doing, the bare minimum they could do is allow the community to uh, give this man a good life after all he's been through. And they just apparently aren't willing to do that. Like, this is beyond corrupt at this point. Like, before it was very corrupt, it was a bad thing to do. The whole police department thing was very corrupt. This is straight up evil. Like, this is like Joker level stuff right here. Like, I feel like you could ask some of the worst people in the world, and they would say, "Oh, would you steal now $650,000? Because I believe his GoFundMe was up to 450 plus the 200,000. Would you steal $650,000 from this sick 80-year-old man in the hospital?" I bet you most of the most evil people on this planet would say no to that question. But this Lego store is doing it. Like, that's insane. This is supposedly the judge that is involved in this case. I looked it up. He is a real judge in Utah, so I am willing to take that as truth. And there is another comment here saying that he is his cousin, the Emin McNeff, the CEO. And if that is the case, that is absolutely absurd that that is allowed to happen. I would be pretty surprised if this is true, but to be honest, at this point, what is there to surprise me in this whole thing? It's just awful, man. Um, I don't know. I don't know how far I should scroll down in these comments, but this whole situation is just so bad, and I this is something that I cannot believe. Like, pretty much everything else in this situation, I can see like a path that you get to that point from the Bricks and Minifigs point of view. I'm not saying they're in the right, obviously, but like I can see how it's like, oh, you have a poorly documented consignment agreement. It ends up in a store. They kind of don't really care about it. It gets passed off to a few other people. It's like, oh, this could be bad. Try to cover it up, all that. I can kind of understand how that chain of events happens. This, it's like if you had a grain of sand worth of good grace left with the community, it is gone now. Like, you are beyond just a bad corporation, a corrupt corporation run by bad people that you could probably move on from and continue with business as usual in a few months. This is evil. Like, this is horrible. I just can't stress it enough. This is one of the worst things I have ever seen a corporation do. And probably firsthand that I've been this invested in, it is the worst thing I've ever seen a corporation do. Like, I'm sure there's things out there that involve like medical stuff or whatever that are far worse than this. But when it comes to a non life threatening, non violent case, this is the worst thing I've ever seen a company do. Like, it is just crazy. I'm sure people are going to tell me I'm wrong in the comments, but like, I'm a young guy. I don't have like a whole lot of history with looking through these types of corporate scandals. This is one of the most insane things I've ever seen in my life. And it's just insane that this is even legal. I to be honest, I feel like this is some sort of First Amendment right violation. Like, there's no way you can enforce somebody not saying the name of your company. I would understand if there was some sort of defamation thing and they were like, yeah, you can't say anything negative about this company, but he wasn't mentioning the company name in this video. That has to be some sort of First Amendment right violation. I can't believe that. That is ridiculous to me. But yeah, if you could tell, I'm getting a little worked up over this. Like I said, this is I think I've said other things in this have like pissed me off, but this really is over the edge. Like I said, this is going past the point of just being a pretty scummy thing that you could probably piece together some form of intent from their point of view that would have a good result where it's like, oh, yada yada, all that. I already talked about it earlier. Like, I could see some of the other things in this story where, from a certain point of view, it is the correct move. This, I, it's just shocking that I assume like the corporate lawyers or whatever would think that this is a good idea to go forward with, referring to the GoFundMe thing. Um, like, you have genuinely stolen almost 2/3 of $1 million from an 80-year-old man. I think he's like 83. I don't, the age isn't super important, but you have stolen almost 2/3 of $1 million from a sick old man. What is wrong with you? That is just my question to Ammon McNeff of Bricks and Minifigs. Genuine, are you happy? Like, look down. Are you happy with this situation? Do you feel good about stealing this money from this sick old man? Like, you disgust me. I know he's not going to see this, but just, you disgust me. You are a awful, awful, awful human being. So yeah, that's all I really have to say for this video. I hope you I would say I hope you guys enjoyed it, but this is probably the most negative video I've ever made. But yeah, that's all. Make sure you leave a like on the video, comment down below your thoughts on this, and subscribe to the channel. And yeah, Bricks and Minifigs, I hope you get what you deserve.